everyone, welcome to the AnexiPod, the official podcast for Anexinet. In for Ned Bellavance, I'm your host, Carolyn Carganilla, Network Administrator and Consultant for Managed Services at Anexinet. Here on the AnexiPod, we talk technology for the enterprise, covering infrastructure, app dev, analytics, and anything else that is shiny. On this edition of Women in Technology, we will be talking to Brenda Heisler, Service Delivery Manager for the Infrastructure Service Group at Anexinet, and a new offering in Anexinet's cloud modernization portfolio, Anexinet Cloud Insights. Welcome to the show, Brenda Heisler.
Hey.
So, we're going to talk a little bit about you. So, how long have you been with Anexinet, and what are you working on now? And just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm coming up on my first full year. I'm a service delivery manager.
Okay.
That's kind of like a catch-all phrase. So I'm fulfilling a couple different roles here. So resource management, making sure everybody. So I'm in the ISG department.
Okay.
And resource management, a lot of that is just like making sure everybody goes where they need to go. Nobody's double booked and all that stuff. Basically, like I handle the master schedule.
Okay.
How
many people are you working with? How many schedules are you juggling right
now? Between 25 and 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so
they all go to you. They're like, where do I go?
All through me. All through me. I think right now, so as part of that, I also manage the project, any of the projects that we have that don't have like billable project manager time. Mm-hmm. So right now I'm managing, I think last I checked it was like 37 projects. Okay. And then also as part of that, it's like coordinating all the resources for the other PMs to make sure that everybody gets where they needs to. The projects are done in a timely manner, so like we're not like neglecting a client for like 2 months or something like that.
Yes. How many projects? I guess with the guys, it's 25, 30 people, so I guess 25, 30 projects at least that you're trying to juggle.
Oh, at least. So we have residencies. We've got one guy. He's currently split between 5 projects. So like his schedule, it's almost like every week it's just like, okay, let's book him out for the next like couple months, and he's booked at literally and through the end of the year he's booked every single day. He's at a different client.
Okay.
Just trying to figure that stuff out.
So they consider you the mother hen. They'll check in with you.
That's a nice way of putting it. Mostly it's more of like the whole benevolent overlord.
Okay.
So there's all of that stuff. That's the real service delivery manager part of it. And then also as part of my job, I've been very involved with the development and the delivery of Anexinet Cloud Insights.
Okay. So Anexinet Cloud Insights, what is that?
Sure. So basically, it's a reporting system for cloud, for AWS, for Azure. I think we're looking into Google's offering as well. Okay. But right now, it's mostly in AWS and Azure. So the main, not problem, but like one of the side effects, because the cloud, you hear it, it's this new buzzword that everybody wants to go to the cloud and all that stuff, which is great. Like there's a lot of benefits from going to the cloud. It's very flexible. All you need is a credit card and you can spin up an instance within minutes, which is great for the flexibility and for scaling up and like getting stuff running, where it would normally take like a week to order and get in the physical hardware.
Yes.
And all. Yeah. Now you can just go online and say, I want to like rent out this instance for the next couple months, and you have it, which is great. But with that flexibility kind of comes a lack of visibility. Like you can do 5 clicks and you have that instance, but will you remember that you have that instance 2 months from now?
Oh, so developers, like if you have a developer, they're playing with the machine the whole entire time, and then they're working on another project, but they forget that they have machines.
Yeah, they have this machine there, and like you might not be using it anymore, but you're still getting charged for it.
Okay.
What we do is we develop this reporting around it to give you that insight into what exactly is going on with your environment. So it's a weekly and monthly reporting system where you're getting just ongoing notifications of so on a weekly basis, you have a tagging system where however you want to break down your environment, we give you a cost summary so that you can say, hey, for each of these environments, this is what you're spending. This is what you've spent month to date.
Okay.
This is what, if you keep on using the stuff the way that you want it, that you're expecting to, this is what you will be billed at the end of the month. If you keep on using things the way that you are, this is what you're projected to be billed. So you can kind of see what you get
your budget.
Yeah. So you can manage your budget that way. We also send out a usage report on a monthly basis where it's kind of showing you, here, this is what is in your environment. This is what's currently going on. These instances are being used. These aren't really, like, a big thing for us is on a weekly basis, we'll do EBS volumes that are unattached. So basically, you're not using them. They're not attached to any instance or any, like, EBS volumes are storage.
Okay.
So it's storage that is no longer attached to a computer, so they're not being used anymore, but they're just kind of sitting there, and you're still being charged for them.
Okay.
So on a weekly basis, we'll send out a notification to let you know, hey, you have this many EBS volumes there. They're costing you this much this month. If you delete them, that's an immediate savings that you can get. There's a lot of stuff like that contained within the report.
What kind of questions are people asking you before they try and get the service?
Sure. Okay. So a lot of it is just like, what can we get from this? Mm-hmm. And really, if you're looking, so with the reporting system, just kind of an overview of what we concentrate on. We concentrate on 4 areas. Cost optimization, that's a really big area for us just because that's where a lot of the value comes from. Visibility, mm-hmm. governance, and security.
Okay.
So a lot of our reports do center around cost optimization and visibility because those are really the drivers of your operational, like the things that really affect your operational, like day-to-day concerns. So with cost optimization, you're getting that cost summary every week. You're also getting a health check every week. And that goes into each of the major areas. So like it gives you a list if there are any VMs or instances that aren't being fully utilized that so maybe they're only being used like 15% of the time or something like that. They'll give you a list of all of these instances that aren't really being used and that you can look at and maybe say, oh, maybe we don't need that anymore. So you can cut that out and that'll reduce your operational costs.
Now, are you the person that looks at these reports? Or
yes.
You, okay.
Yeah, right now I am the dedicated analyst for this.
Now, do you send the information to your clients, or do you give suggestions on what they can do, or do you just point out?
So the weekly, I guess that's the difference between the weekly reports and the monthly reports. Weekly reports, it's the cost summary, the EBS volumes, the security report, and the health check. And all of those are kind of automatically generated within our platform and then sent to me and then also to the client, whoever in the client they identify as the person mm-hmm. to keep an eye on this stuff. And so I'm going to look through it. As well as hopefully the client is also looking at them. But even if they aren't, they don't really take the time, I will be looking at it, going through each of these reports, making sure that nothing looks off. Mm-hmm. And if it does, then I go in and I'll look at it. And if it's something that really is urgent, then I'll reach out to the client and say, hey, this doesn't look right. Do you need to go in and need to look at this? Do you need to change something so that it looks, because otherwise you're going to be getting this $5,000 charge that you didn't expect. So that's the weekly reports. Those are kind of auto generated. I look at them and monitor them, mm-hmm. But I'm not really going in and involved with the generation. Yeah. I mean, aside from setting them up initially and then maintaining them.
Yeah, and you pretty much customize them for what their needs are? Okay.
Yes, yeah. And a big part of this whole product is the customization. If you need a report every day, one of our clients, mm-hmm. They have a sandbox account that they want to monitor every single day to see how it's being used because there isn't a lot of structure around it. So we were able to set up an automated report every day at 6 a.m. They're seeing this is how much this is what was bought within this account. This is what was used within this account every night. So they get to monitor that and make sure that it doesn't get too costly for them.
You've been with Anexinet for about a year.
Yep.
So when you came here, we didn't have this, or were you?
No, it was it was just they had just started to design this and get an idea. So when I came in, one of the first things I did was I went through a lot of the trainings to get familiar with the platform that we use. Okay. And I worked with one of our AWS architects who was actually, Bert Zanizer. He was actually one of the people that really saw the niche or the opportunity.
The need of a client maybe?
The need of multiple clients that we have. And he saw that they needed something where they were moving into this brand new cloud thing. Nobody really knew what was going on with it.
They didn't want to buy everything. You're saying, oh, I'll buy this, I'll buy that, leave the machine, leave all the machines on.
That's the thing. They had, and it was a couple months down the road, and all of a sudden, all of the things that they were promised are like, they were getting the flexibility and all that stuff, but their bills were growing and they didn't really know why.
Okay.
So that's where we designed this reporting system. And actually that's kind of on the monthly. So you have the platform that actually like generates the report, but really the value of going through Anexinet is that on a monthly basis, not only do you get the reporting system, because there are a lot of reporting systems that you can use to gain visibility into your cloud environment, but you might not get they can tell you what's going on, but they can't tell you the why of it. And so on a monthly basis, like, that's where the monthly reports come in. That's where someone like me, or really at this time, I go in and I look at your environment, maybe talk to one of your tech guys to see like what's going on, what your plans are, what projects are going on.
It's the personal effect.
Yeah. Like going in and on a monthly basis, like you get that cost. So one of the reports that we do monthly is a cost summary, but not only do we do the actual graph of like, this is what's going on, we'll go into like your one or two like most expensive projects, or if there is a project that's like grown exponentially or something like that in the last month, we'll go in and we'll figure out the why of it. And then we'll write up a couple paragraphs of like, this is why this has happened.
So our people are important, because I think I think anyone can go anywhere and buy the product, get a product, but if they go to Anexinet and get the Cloud Insights, they'll get that personalization. They'll get you or someone else that'll talk them through things, and they'll actually have a person. So it's dedicated to them that'll help them. Okay.
Yeah, and like not only will we talk it through them, we'll write them up. I think one of our clients, it's up to like an 11-page report that's just all about all about information of like, hey, these are your projects. This is what happened this month. These projects jumped this month, and this is why. If you go into your environment, especially for AWS, because Azure hasn't come out with reserved instances yet, but they're coming out at the end of the quarter, and we're going to be adding that in. But especially for AWS, like, if you go into your environment, it looks like you've been using these many instances of these types for this long. If you plan on using them for the next year, you can purchase an RI, this specific type of RI, and all the details will be listed in the report. And like, you can save this much money, or like 30 to 60%.
That's what they want to see. They want to see either like how much money, like what they're saving, because they want to. I guess they'll have a chart they'll see from last month, this month. Okay.
Yeah. So they'll see the comparisons each month, and we'll point out like, so like one client last month, they've been running all of their instances have been running on demand on this one project.
Okay.
We recommended that they make a certain purchase for one of the largest instances there. They made that purchase, I think, halfway through last month. They've already saved $2,000.
Wow.
So like, and not only are they getting this report, but once we sent out the monthly report, if you go through that and if our clients see anything that like they have questions on or something, not only do we go through that, or not only do we send the report, but we also will set up a monthly meeting with the client. So if you have like a CFO or someone who is involved with this cloud stuff and is trying to see the payoffs and stuff, but they don't really have the technical background, every month I'm sitting down with that client, describing it to them, explaining what's going on, why you're seeing the things you're seeing, and all that stuff, so that like they don't necessarily need I mean, a lot of them do have tech guys, but like for the people who don't have this extensive technical background, like I can explain it to them so that they're understanding what's going on and what they need to do to best.
So you're like the mid person. Yes. You work with the architects or our consultants, and and then they can, and you'll break it down so that you can talk it into normal. Into English.
So I break it down so that normal people can understand what's going on.
Non-technical. Yeah. So being with since you've been with Anexinet, have you? You've mentioned Bert. Is there anyone else that you feel like you've learned from? I mean, it's been a year, and I feel like from what you're talking about with the Cloud Insights, you've done a lot.
I like to think so.
Because is Cloud Insights mostly AWS customers, or are you finding Azure customers? I was just curious.
So for the first few months, it was a lot of AWS customers, but we are starting to move in. Like I've been doing trainings and stuff to familiarize myself with the reports and how they translate to Azure from AWS. And we do have a couple clients that are potential clients that are doing Azure. Like, they have Azure environments. So I have been gaining experience in reporting on those. I mean, obviously doing all the trainings and all that stuff, but also, like, just real-world experience of how these reports translate to Azure, the different capabilities within each environment, and how best to represent the data in each environment. But we do provide reporting for both AWS and Azure.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I mean, the main focus seems to be AWS, and I know, and Azure, but I wasn't sure if it worked the same.
It's so any differences in the reporting are really based around the differences in what each service provides. So, for instance, up until this quarter, Azure didn't have anything like reserved instances. So the reporting for Azure right now doesn't include that because, it doesn't exist right now. But we also know that at some point in December, Azure is going to be coming out with RIs. And once that happens, the platform is going to be building it's going to be their top priority to build a tool around creating those reports for recommendations for RIs. So that for clients with Azure, that's really going to be valuable for them, that it's going to be this new product, and all of a sudden we're going to be able to compile a report that will simply say, like, hey, we've been through your environment, and we really think that if you make these purchases, you'll get the best value out of this new product. And you can do that without having, without the client having to dedicate someone to, like, figure out what's this newfangled thing.
Yeah, so they're just telling
out.
You what they're looking for, and then you just put in a report, and you do it. So I'm trying to figure out how, like, if Anexinet's trying to help a customer move from their on-prem environment to the cloud, do we offer this right away? Do we sit there and say, as we're moving your environment to the cloud for you, would you like Cloud Insights? Would you, or is that something we just...
We're working with the sales team to get them to do that, yeah.
Okay.
So right now we are starting to offer it to clients because, as it has been in development for a year. So as we develop it, we want to make sure that it's a complete product before we offer it to clients. So now that, it's been a couple months where it is now a complete thing, now we can present it to our sales team that we can confidently say, hey, this is something that has a lot of value. Okay. So now really the work is, now that it's, because cloud is such a new thing, this cloud reporting is a new product. Okay. And it's a new type of product. It's not like selling a VM or something it's not like selling hardware or something like that. It's a new selling strategy. Yes. So we're working on getting our salespeople confident in saying, like, hey, this is how this works. This is what we can do. Mm-hmm. These
how
are
much money
capabilities.
You can save.
Yeah, this is how much money you can save.
To buy more. Or you can use that extra money to buy more in Azure or AWS.
Yeah, so a lot of what we've been doing in terms of selling Cloud Insights has been the guys that we have on the ground, our technicians, our consultants that are on the ground. They know about it. They know its capabilities. So especially our AWS and Azure architects, as they work in their environments, if they see an opportunity, what they're doing could be accomplished with Anexinet Cloud Insights, they'll bring it up. It's like, hey, you could be paying Anexinet thousands of dollars every month just to have me sit here and do all the monitoring stuff.
Okay.
Or you could pay like a couple $1,000s and have all of the same stuff, just with, like, instead of having me sit here, it's automated and having these reports. So it's kind of replacing the significant cost of having an AWS architect with the automated reports and still having that knowledge base, because if I see something that I don't understand or that doesn't look right, Anexinet is kind of a large family, so I can just go and talk to Bert or one of our other AWS or Azure architects and say, hey, this doesn't look right. Can you take a look at this? So you're still getting that knowledge base. You're still getting that expertise. Mm-hmm. It's just you're not paying for it 24/7.
Exactly. Yeah. Your mentors, you said Bert helped you?
Yes. So since I've come here, this is my first job out of college now. A lot of the stuff that I did in college did help me prepare for this job.
Were you like a computer? You were a computer?
So I majored in English with minors in physics, French, and computer science.
Okay.
So major in English with minor in computer science. So I did, as part of my career, like, I wanted to do technical writing with computers, which is
that's
basically
good.
what I'm doing.
Yeah, so that's good then, because you know how to understand what we're telling you technically, and then break it down so that everyone can understand.
Exactly.
It. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
I've worked with technical writers, and I'm like, just do this, this, and this, and they'll write it out. I'm like, oh, that's good, because that way you can just hand it to someone and they'll understand.
Yeah, and I feel like kind of the fact that I have a minor and not a major in computer science kind of helped me, because if you're talking to someone with a computer science background, a lot of times when you're talking to them, they think that they're talking plain English, but it's just because of their background, they don't notice a lot of the jargon that they're using and stuff like that the normal person might not understand. As an English major, like, I understand what you're saying because I also have that background and because I've been working in this industry. But I also have the mindset that, like, that's not my native tongue, so I can, like, translate between that and other people.
Do you want to continue in tech?
I do. So I really like what I'm doing with the Anexinet Cloud Insights. So as it grows as a product and as our clientele grows and it becomes a more significant part of a job to the point that, like, we build a team around it, I would like to be involved with that team. So
I know Anexinet was what best places to work. Right?
Yeah.
So
I love the people I work with. They're so great. So like they've taught me so much. I know Bert helped a lot with the designing and really the presentation of Anexinet Cloud Insights because he was involved with it before I even came here with its inception.
So he helped start it and then you execute it. Like his ideas. Okay.
Right.
So he brought it to life.
Yes. So he had the initial idea, and then I worked with him and Tim and Ned Bellavance to really develop it into a full product. But from a project management standpoint, when I was going to college, I was part of a service organization where a lot of the work involved project management. So I did have that experience, but that was college. So when I came to the corporate world, how that translates from, a service organization, student-run organization, to the professional world. The other project manager here, Sarah Young, she was, integral to me being able to translate my skills and really develop them in a more professional setting.
I give you a lot of credit, because I wouldn't imagine that this is your first job out of school.
Thank you.
So I do give you a lot of credit for that. You're a great asset to the team. No, because there's a lot of guys over there. So here we go. As a woman in technology, it's not that easy keeping them all in line. So it's nice that they do respect you. They do come to you, and they make sure you're up to date and make sure that you're getting where you need to go.
Part of why I love working here so much is because they're valuing me not for my age, because I will admit I'm 24. I think there are two people at here that are younger than me, and that's by a year.
I think I remember one. I think the other person might have turned 25 already.
Really? Oh, but I'm not the youngest anymore. I'm so proud of that. But they don't treat me for my age. They treat me for my mind and for my skills, which is great. There has been no, you're too young, you don't know what you're doing. They respect that this is the job I've been given. I'm going to do what I need to do in order to get that job done well. Maybe that's sometimes saying, I know this client is asking for you for 5 days a week, but you're also on 2 other projects. So we can give them 2 days a week. I mean, they might not be happy, but this is what we need to do. And
so you're also talking to the clients.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's good too, because you're young and they're still giving you the respect that you are, that you get as I mean, it's all on how you present yourself, obviously, but you're presenting yourself in a professional manner where you're able to go to a client and say, this is what my people can do. Sorry, can't go that day.
Yeah. And part of that is also just presenting it in a way we're doing this so that we can, we're making this decision because this is the way that what we can give you, we're doing this because we want to do the best job that we can for all of our clients. If we were to do this and if we were to treat you better than all the other clients, then at some point we would have to do that to a different client. And at that point, it's just the overall customer service would just go down the tube.
So what ideas do you have for Cloud Insights, Anexinet Cloud Insights? Do you think, what can you do? Do you think there's anything we can do to do with it? I mean, other than make it better, or what do you have? Do you have any visions? What do you want? Any more ideas that you want to try and get from the reporting standpoint? Do you have you got any input from people or the clients of what they're looking for? As in, I don't know what the report actually looks like. Is it just graphs
So it's graphs and explanation and analysis along with it. So a lot of the information that we give, it's explained in the Skype interview. But if there are people who can't make the meeting, you can still send them that monthly or weekly report, and still with the text that surrounds each of the graphs and stuff, they can still basically understand what's going on with their environment. So what I would see,
because some people aren't going to read the report.
Right,
I was just wondering if it's just because some people, it's the pictures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wasn't sure, because you're gonna break it down for them. But like you said, there was one as an 11-page report, or was it?
For the current one.
Yeah.
This past month, it was an 11-page report.
So I wasn't sure if it was complete, text, or was there mostly graphs? I mean,
so we're trying to using different formatting things. I guess that's kind of the whole point of the Skype meeting, or the online meeting. Whether it's GoToMeeting, Skype, whatever platform works best for the client. That's kind of what that meeting is for. So if someone doesn't want to read the report, they just come to the meeting, and I actually go through the report with them, point out anything that's if you just skim this, that's fine, but here are these 3 things, these are things that we really think would make a concrete difference if you did this. So you can we can give you a highlight reel in person, as well as if you don't want to take the time to read through the 11-page report.
Do you see yourself going out to clients soon? I know you keep on mentioning Skype. Do you?
So I think so. Just by the nature of it, for the monthly meetings, I could see going out and especially for the first couple months, just meeting, putting together a present. I know one of our clients, for the monthly reports, they have this set of people that they have that deal with the day-to-day stuff. But they're also considering doing every quarter, twice a year, having us go out there and really do a presentation for their higher ups, so they can see what's going on, what the value of this is, what savings, what suggestions we're making that maybe need their CEO's approval or whatever. So I could see that being a part of becoming a normal part of the just going out in person, meeting these people, putting together a whole presentation about this is what your environment has been doing. This is these are the recommendations we've made in the past year. This is the savings that you've gotten from this reporting system. Actually, our platform they have in their beta, it's a beta version right now, so it's still in testing, but they just came out with a tool for savings, so they'll match up recommendations that they've made that we've made in past months, and match it up with RI purchases or other modifications that we've suggested that have been made, and then they'll track the savings versus if you hadn't made those, or if you hadn't taken those suggestions, so we can really show the value of what we're doing here. And so going out in person to really present this to them on a quarterly or bi-yearly basis would really, I think it would drive home to the more upper management people, or for even the company at large, what exactly is going on.
So do you think large businesses, enterprise companies, do you think they already have something like this? Or
so I think there's businesses of different sizes will get different things from this.
From Insights.
Yeah, from Insights. So a smaller business that maybe doesn't have anybody dedicated to monitoring and all that stuff, their cloud environment, they'll really get they'll really benefit from the automation of having a dedicated analyst that every month is going to spend time going into their environment, making sure that everything makes sense. But for larger corporations, what we've found is that even if they have 1 or 2 people dedicated, or a team dedicated to this environment, just the automated reports that the cost summary every week, the health check every week, the EBS volumes and snapshot reports that they get every week, just by getting that, because companies that large, their environment is so large, that just the maintenance of it becomes a job in and of itself, that with our automated reporting and monthly reporting, we can cut down on the time that would be needed to that they would normally need to dedicate someone to do all this stuff. We can cut down on that significantly, and really save them money just through the ongoing monitoring. And the same way with our recommendations and stuff like that. I feel like companies like that, where they're constantly growing and spinning up instances and VMs in their when RIs come out in Azure, but when their environment is changing that much, like just having those reports that we compile on a weekly and monthly basis would really help them keep on top of their ever-growing and ever-changing environment. So really, they're, depending on the size, you're getting different things, or really the same reports are serving different purposes, but there's still value for each size.
So to close out all of this, what do you think people should remember about Anexinet Cloud Insights? Like you said, there were a few things like optimization.
Right. So,
and what we can offer.
Yeah. So a few things that I would say that they should really take away from this is the cost optimization. So the RI instance recommendations report, the cost summary, the health check. Those are all really great reports that you would get with us that would like have a lot of cost saving potential. So cost savings is a huge part of it.
Okay.
But also just the ongoing monitoring. So cost savings and visibility.
Okay.
Visibility is huge because even if it's like with the weekly cost summary, the monthly cost summary, the significant changes report where we're tracking different projects or different cost groups in your environment and how they've changed from month to month, like you can just really see if there's something that makes sense, if you're expecting a jump in cost, or like just last month, one of our clients had a jump of almost like $500 in this one project that they weren't expecting anything new from. And because they had that, they were using our reporting system, they were able to see, and they were actually able to drill down to, okay, somebody used these 3 instances. This was the person that spun them up. This wasn't supposed to happen. Now we know, you know.
Well, I want to thank you. I mean, you taught me a lot about this. I know about Anexinet Cloud Insights. I wasn't completely sure what we offered and what the savings were and what the benefits were to this. So I'm thankful and I'm glad that you came in and explained this to me and you broke it down, and I'm sure everyone listening will be happy. So if anyone wants to learn more about you, do you have a LinkedIn profile or a Twitter handle you want to share with us?
I do have a LinkedIn profile. I go by my name, Brenda Heisler.
So I'll include that in the show notes. And then let's see. I wish you good luck with this, and I'm good luck with your reporting. So I know that's going to be hard. So every day, pretty soon everybody will be calling you up saying, they need a report, so good luck with that. So. If you enjoyed the AnexiPod and you are looking for more content, why not check out our sister podcast, Buffer Overflow. On the show, Ned Bellavance is joined by Anexinet colleagues to discuss what's new and interesting in the IT newssphere. Thanks to Ned for helping me put together this podcast, and thanks for Anexinet for sponsoring the podcast. If you're looking for a company to help you with your digital strategy or technology needs, then I would recommend reaching out to Anexinet to see how they can help. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, IT moves fast, and if you don't stop to look around once in a while, you just could miss it.